Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kenny Too Many. Welcome back to another episode, episode 11, I believe, of Too Many Convos with Kenny Too Many. Today's theme or whatever title, however you want to call it, um, is mental health and me. Um, and I've alluded to a lot of this stuff on a lot of my other episodes and whatnot in regards to like what I deal with and what I've gone through and what is afflicted of me or whatever. Um, but I'd like to try to dive into that and have more of a dialogue about it. And basically, we'll start at the genesis of everything is my family suffers with mental health issues, depression, and anxiety across the board, diagnosed and medicated. So, of course, you got the genes. And I grew up with ADHD. I was a problematic child when I was younger, but nobody could really place why that was the case. Some messed up stuff happened when I was younger between my parents, and not between them like bad shit, but like custody wise. Um, and my dad had me tested, and then figured out in elementary school, I think it was fifth grade, up until fifth grade, that I had ADHD, and that's when I first got medicated, and there was a drastic change. Um, in everything, and I didn't notice it now, but notice it then, but looking back on it now, anytime I was medicated on ADHD, it also helped me with my depression and anxiety, um, which is good. Um, but it drastically changed my life. I was doing therapy with my dad when I was younger, and I didn't take it seriously, and I said some weird stuff, but that was just because I was just a fucking stupid kid. And then I did therapy when I was a teenager because me and my dad, I was going through my rebellious phase, and it was literally just me and my dad. My dad is a saint because I put him through some shit when I was a teenager. And therapy works. Um, Depends on the person, depends on how much you share and whatnot. Therapy worked when I was younger. I tried therapy. Well, I'll get there. I'll kind of go down through through this list. But therapy helped me and my dad. But being medicated on ADHD made a hell of a lot of a difference. When I was 18, graduated high school and became a father. My girlfriend was pregnant. Um, you've seen her, Jordan Scooty. That's my 17-year-old daughter. Had her very young and kind of jumped into the world, but I kind of jumped into it raw. Like, um, I wasn't medicated. I wasn't seeing anybody in therapy. I was in a terrible relationship. Those 3 to 5 years before I moved back with my dad and turned my life around was a fucking nightmare. Smoked too much weed, honestly. Probably shouldn't have said that, honestly. Hey, it's real. I want to be transparent. It is what it is. Now it's friggin' legal, so it doesn't matter. But basically, what I'm saying is, it was awful. And then when I got older, I moved back with my dad. I didn't realize how much easier life could be if I was medicated. So in my 20s, I got medicated again, and it made a world of difference, especially with work, dude. Incredible difference. My depression and anxiety went out the window, et cetera, et cetera. Well, then my health insurance canceled it, so I stopped taking it because it was too much of a hassle and it was too expensive. So at that point, up until right now, because that's where I'm at right now, um, I basically just adapted, figured out what worked, figured out what didn't, um, and kind of raw dogged through life my mental health, my ADHD, my depression and anxiety. I recognize the signs, I know it. Um, but what I didn't realize is that while I thought mentally that medication and therapy and et cetera, maybe not therapy, but medication was more of a crutch and like cheating, um, And that if I could figure it out as a man, I could figure out how to do it on my own without the help, that I'm better for it. But what I didn't realize is while I think I'm running at 100%, I'm really running at like 75 to 80% at best, because that other 20 to 25% is completely dedicated subconsciously and consciously to manually adjusting my depression, my anxiety, my ADHD, and how I react to it. Whereas when you're medicated, your 100% is a real 100% because something else is doing that work for you, because your body honestly should already be doing it for you. It's a chemical imbalance. It's a sickness, it's a disease, it's an affliction. It's a chemical imbalance. And when it adjusts the chemical imbalance, it's not cheating, it's not drugs. What you don't realize is people who don't suffer with these things are fucking going through this no problem. I won't say they have issues or anything like that, but they're not dealing with the same hurdles and crutches and items that we are. So if we're using something to help us, medicated within reason, obviously we're not talking self-medication and abusing. Um, that's not a crutch. It's not cheating. You're catching back up. And what I've realized is I've actually, when I've been medicated, I've gained that 20 or 25% when I'm actually going at like 120, 125, because I've already had to develop a work ethic that takes that inhibition into regard. Um, when dad died in 2020, it got really, really bad. And and therapy didn't work. I tried therapy once and I fucking hated it and I didn't like it. But it was bad and I was self-medicating and it was not good. I mean, I was doing fine in life and it wasn't distressing my life enough. But looking back on it, and I'll get there in a second, I absolutely freaking was, man. And there were times even pre when dad was still alive, there was a lot of financial struggles and stuff that we went through as a family that was made. I just was not a very good to myself, and not taking care of my mental and physical health during those times. So, but 2020 happened. My dad died. The good and the bad and et cetera, and grieving and grieving and grieving and lawyer cases and all this shit that I've been doing. I was self-medicating and kind of coasting along and keeping everybody happy and everybody satisfied and work satisfied. But I wasn't like living. It was sort of surviving, but like surviving by myself. No, I doubt anybody knew the struggles I was going through, because I was keeping up a good facade. But it wasn't well. It wasn't well. I gained a little bit of weight. Just it was just not bad diet, bad like calorie intake, just not really taking care of myself. The good part is I was working out a lot, which helped. But so I'll say 2023, this year, mid March, lost my second job in a row. I was laid off. Um, and I was still kind of in that funk, and that set me straight. That was my rock bottom. Um, between then and now, I've become the best ever that I've ever been, physically, emotionally, mentally, my family life, work. I'm fulfilled and happy and challenged at work. I've gotten everything under control. I'm in phenomenal shape. My mind is sharp. I'm reading more. I'm doing this podcast. I'm just taking care of my biz on the best possible way. And I just hope dad's proud of me. I hope he can see me, because this is like the best version of myself that I've always wanted to be. And I'm going to keep going. You know what I mean? I can be better. Um, but that was like the big thing, was like setting myself straight, getting my habits under control and really regulating myself properly, and end up being the best person I am now. I'm not struggling with my ADHD. I'm not struggling with my depression and anxiety on a high level like I was. And that was all about habit and behavior changes. So, this isn't a long episode. I don't want to drone on and on about things that most of the people who probably watch these struggle with and know just as well as I do. Um, but just to kind of help, like getting a regimen under control, getting your diet under control, and getting a solid workout habit under control, all does amazing for mental health. And also see a therapist if you think it's going to help, and get medicated if you think it's going to help. It's not a crutch. It's not cheating. So if you guys like this, like, subscribe, come back for more. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you guys want to see anything different. And I'll see you on the flip. Later.